Hey guys, welcome to I Am Comics Podcast. I am Josh Casper, and with me is...
The Bizarre Mumbo Jumbo, a.k.a. JJ Kirby, the one at the Casa. How you feeling?
What up?
What's up, homie? How you feeling?
Chilling.
I'm going to enjoy these blueberries, so if you hear some smacking, and not to be rude, but these damn blueberries is popping. I can't even front. I got to get my fruit intake up for my health.
Yeah.
So I got to figure out the best ways to get that going. So blueberries, I'm going to fuck with it.
You mean you need member berries?
Member berries?
Yeah. It's an episode in South Park where the berries, they're just called member berries.
I
They're
remember
like, hey,
that.
member?
Yeah.
Remember this? Remember
Yeah,
that?
I remember that.
That's what you need. You need some member berries.
They probably are tasty, but I can't fuck with no berries that talk to me. You know, that's some whole other issue shit.
Well, today's episode is... And maybe it's not all primarily focused on him, but we were talking about it earlier, and pretty much everything we were talking about went back to this man.
Homeboy Hickman?
Yep. All roads lead to Hickman, I guess.
Homeboy Hickman. Like he never was on my radar. I can't even front, but now he's on everybody's tongue.
Well, that's why the last couple episodes we've honestly talked about him
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about him a lot, but not enough in the sense of like we talked about what he did, but not the story.
We heavily mentioned him. He was on our topics.
Yeah.
But now it's like, oh.
But that was mostly X-Men too, because it was the House of X and Powers of X,
Yeah,
which was a new big thing that was happening.
Yeah.
So today, I mean, we're going to talk about that and the thing that came after that now, which is the whole new X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, so all that.
See, I could talk about that.
No, yeah, well, that's what we're going to do, but I'd say first we should just go kind of to his past a little, because like I said, I just finished reading all 6 volumes of Fantastic Four he did.
Well, I will say, since it's it's so fresh and new with like, you know, Excalibur #1, New Mutants #1, you know, X-Force, X-Men, all this, you know, we should probably get into that. It won't take long, because then when you get into the Fantastic Four joints and all the other shit he's done, it's extensive. There's a whole run, like 7-year run joints and shit, you know.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Like for mine, I've been reading the new X-Men lineup, because I was like, I'm hungry for X-Men, anything, and I want to see what they do to launch it. What are they going to do to make me ride with them, you know?
Yeah.
And I was just like, if Hickman's not going to be the one writing them all, but he's like Papa Smurf to all these joints.
But he's doing the main one.
He's doing the main one.
Which is X-Men.
With Francis Linnell Yu on the art.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can't even front. I'm looking at it, and I was like, I'm going to say some shit.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to offend nobody.
Yeah.
But you know, I shoot from the hip, and I'm just a raw motherfucker. I say what I believe. And this is me and you podcast. We can do what the fuck we want.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the X-Men joints, I'm sitting there like, I want the continuation feeling of Powers of X, House of X.
Yeah.
I want that X-Men feeling that I'm getting when you can tell me this one the dopest shit.
Yeah.
When I was reading X-Men, Powers of X and House of X, I was like, this is nothing better. So I'm thinking like, well, if Hickman's going to be continuing writing and running this scenario with Francis Linnell Yu, I'm like, well, I want to see more of this. I want to feel more of this. And I can't even front. I'm like, Francis is giving you some quality ass art.
Yeah.
But he's not serving them. He's solid. He's super solid. And he's like, yep, I can draw this. I'm the man on the X-Men book. I can do this shit. But he's not. I've seen it when he's drawing some shit. He's like, I'm about to show my ass. Yeah. I'm about to put my nuts in the mashed potatoes. I'm about to give it to you bitches. I'm about to give it to you raw, no condom. You know what I mean? And I'm like, damn, that motherfucker's, he's deserving. You know, and it's taking nothing away from his glory. But like I said, this is your chance to fucking like smack everybody in the mouth. You know, this is your chance to fucking like be unapologetic. Yeah. And you just giving it to him. You're not like giving it to him. You know what I mean? And I'm like, dude, I'm not impressed. I want to be impressed by Francis' artwork on it, and I'm not getting that. It's solid.
Tell me something though. As you as an artist, does the writing ever dictate the style that it's gonna be, or if you're gonna go harder or not because of the epicness of the story and stuff like that?
Of course, it does make a difference, but for me, every chance I got to show myself, I took advantage. I tried to. And I know that given the resources, like a lot of, like when I went at Wildstorm, they're like, we don't want you to ink your shit. We don't want you to color your shit. You're going to just do what the script tells you and do your thing. Yeah. So I took the chance, every chance I got to put me on the page, and you know, like here's a splash, or here's I'm gonna draw this dude looking hot, or here's some new fashion sense, or this is the new hip hop slang, or here's something I'm putting in here to let you be like, oh, okay, this dude got
style.
flavor.
Yeah.
My style is flavors and everything. Never just trying to be like, well, yeah, I'm just gonna get her done.
Yeah.
The moments I just got her done, I look back at those projects like, they're lackluster. I could have did better.
Yeah.
I didn't bring nothing to the table. It was just a paycheck.
Yeah.
You know, got it done. But but like anytime since then, like I said, because I learned, I was like, you know, even a whack script, I got to bring something to the table. I want to, like, you know, draw some cool faces, do a crazy camera angle, do some new kind of crazy robot tech or something. You know, just try to push the levels and be like, you know what, look, bitches, look. I want y'all to see what the fuck is going down.
Yeah.
So as an artist, the script definitely does dictate what you bring to the table. But it's up to you as an artist to be like, well, I'm going to bring it to the table because that's what's in the script. But I'm going to fucking over the top. Yeah. These bitches didn't pay for cheese, but I'm giving them cheese. Because when you come to my casa, it's all cheese all day. Yeah. You know what I mean? You know, I'm giving you the whole hookup. Yeah. You know, you get a flaco. You get a flaco burger. You get the guacamole. You get the cheese. You get the bacon. You get the tomato. You get the whole shabizzle. Yeah. And it tastes good. Because I want you to remember this shit. You know?
Well, because the next thing I wanted to ask with that is, he drew, what was it, the Powers or House of X?
Who, Francis?
Yeah.
He didn't do either of those.
I thought he's done X-Men before, though, right?
He's done X-Men before.
Okay, I'm getting confused.
His whole thing was he won a contest, I think, in the Wizard magazine, and he drew Wolverine looking pretty fucking dope. Yeah. Killed it. He fucking served. He's like, I deserve work. Give me this work.
Give me this shit.
And they was like, we're gonna give you this work. And then Wildstorm picked him up and brought him over to Wildstorm to do some shit. And so ever since then, it was like they sent the samples over to Marvel and whatnot, and he's been, you know, Francis Lanier, the whole scenario. Even when he did what was the book he did for Wildstorm? It was like Twin Dragons or something. It was like the first time seeing like robot samurai joints. You know, you ever see Sucker Punch, the movie? Yeah. So in that movie, they had the robot samurai dudes and shit. And it was like she was dreaming and tripping or something, and it was like she had to fight against some like robot samurai dudes.
Pretty much Gundams, though.
They swooped that shit directly from what Francis drew. Yeah. Like he's dope. He's dope. Like,
no, because what I was trying to ask was, because he did
he did Hickman Avengers.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
because like my whole thing is like you're talking about like just bringing it and shit. So of course if they ask you, can you draw the next 6-part epic or 4-part or whatever epic, it's an epic. So of course you're gonna be like, I'm gonna bring it all out, right? Because you're like, I'm going to show.
It's a matter of you within yourself. Like, am I just trying to get a paycheck?
Yeah.
Or am I trying to fucking leave my stamp on it? Yeah. And I ain't never trying to say my dude ain't trying to leave a stamp on it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to badmouth. Don't take offense to this.
No. Because I'm just asking because the one artist I keep going back to is I can't pronounce his last fucking name, but it's like Russell, the guy who's been drawing Thor forever.
Oh, Thor. Russell with a D, dude.
Russell Demore.
I fuck it up too.
I apologize.
Yeah. He's dope. He's dope.
Because his like that's what I'm saying is. His run on that, real quick, was just amazing. And then he left and let other artists come in. Yeah. And then he came back for War of the Realms. Yeah. Which to me, each fucking page was like, wow, I could hang all of this shit up.
I respect his stuff more, even like his cover game is sick. I love that shit. I love his cover game. Yeah. Russell's cover game is fucking hardcore. I'm like, damn.
Some of the best covers of Thor or any fucking comic I've ever seen, dude. Like,
I
honestly.
fuck with it all day too, you know. But I will say, like I said, with the X-Men run, so like Francis isn't giving me what I'm looking for as an art. Yeah. It's solid, it's dope, but it's not giving me those wow moments, you know. Like the latest issue, he has it where Krakoa, the island, is on the move and it's merging about to collide with this other island that has this gigantic volcano thing with tentacles coming out of it. And the X-Men are there trying to feel like, well, why is our island about to merge with this island? What the fuck's up? And they meet this little character on there who's like all albino, white, with long hair, and he has like black dripping iPad. It's kind of interesting design, you know, really interesting design. I'm not mad at it, but no fucking shots are like giving it to me, you know. And it's like if the whole thing is like the islands get together and they merge because like, oh, Krakoa it was an older island that Krakoa was a part of, or they associated somehow, and they were split, and now they're coming back together. So one of the touching moments is like you see the islands bump up against each other and then vines grow and intermingle like fingers and shit, and it's like, oh, they in love with each other. It makes them flowers blossom, like, oh, okay, and they merge. So Krakoa is a little bigger because they merged with this other island, and this character that's like albino, I forgot his name, but he's a native of this other island, and now he's on the Krakoan island, and then you find out that Apocalypse, who's old as a motherfucker, remembers both islands before they became separate, and this character is considered a child of Apocalypse. So it's like
albino?
Okay. Yeah. So it's like, okay. So Hickman's doing some things, and I think for me, about the next thing is like, so Hickman's writing, I'm sure, is like always on that shit, right? You got to give him time to build up and show you what the fuck, show you what's happening.
You really do.
So with House of X and Powers of X, it's like, damn, this motherfucker's back to back giving you shit.
Yeah.
Each issue giving you some shit. There's moments in there that's like, damn, I've seen the X-Men blow the fuck up. Next issue, they coming back being reborn. It's like he's giving you some shit. With this new joint, I'm sitting there like, I don't know what you building towards, homie, but it's taking too damn long. Or you're not giving me enough right now. Or within the stuff you giving me, it's not enough.
How many issues are out already of
2
of just X-Men?
2. The new joints, 2.
Yeah.
So it's like all the first number 1 joints is all out, and then because the last one of the new joints came out was Fallen Angels, and that's starring Asian version of Psylocke because they split them. So there's Betsy Braddock, who's the English one,
British,
and she's British, and she's split from the Asian version of her.
Because her body was
her
body was like that Asian assassin woman,
so
but her brain,
they put her mind into an Asian body, and let her be an assassin. Which at that time was like, that shit is dope. She was like one of the most popular X-Men. She's sexy. It's like cool. But then since the age of appropriation, they're like, we can't do that. We got to fix that shit. I understand, and it works with how they doing it, I guess. But sometimes from my opinion, you gotta let some shit ride. Well, like Asian Psylocke, dope. English or British Psylocke, dope too. But it's like, how you gonna do it? And they have her being Captain Britain. She's the new Captain Britain, which is cool. But I like classic Captain Britain. I'm like, dude, they don't hook my dude up.
Well, they gave him his own run early on, right?
That was way the fuck back in the day, man.
Well, I mean,
way back in the day.
Maybe there's just no writer comfortable enough to do it.
I will say this: and when they had him in Excalibur with Claremont and Alan Davis, dope.
Well, that's why maybe there's just a writer who still hasn't been able to figure out that character. I'm sure there's
it is. It's
or honestly, maybe he doesn't sell. But
no, he has a fan base. Fuck that. They're gonna put him in. They're gonna put him in the movies. I know they are. You can't say they. That's like what is it? Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. So people were like, "Oh, they don't sell." They were a D-list book back when Valentino was doing them. I was loving. But
that was because it was a pretty good movie, and it told a story in that way where it didn't make you like. It was cool.
It served a purpose for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yeah. So that's how they should be, and that's what they're doing when they're picking people and characters to be in the cinematic. They're like, okay, we can't use the Fantastic Four, and we want to showcase the space shit in Marvel. Who do we have? Guardians of the Galaxy. Dude, cool. So they run it. That way they can do Thanos. They can do all the cosmic joints properly because they have characters that all about outer space.
Yeah.
No Fantastic Four, which is all about outer space and the weird shit. Guardians of the Galaxy. So when you're on Earth and you're like, okay, we have the Avengers right now, but we know that there are other characters all across the damn planet that superpowers, other nations that have them. How do we rep that shit? Well, I can't wait till they do Alpha Flight, and I can't wait till they do Captain Britain.
Who knows?
Excalibur. But they have to like.
Would I mean, this might sound dumb or whatever, but would a book just called maybe X World be kind of cool, where it's just like it takes place of
everything X-Men, all just
not like in different parts of the world, but somehow I don't like I said I haven't read any of these X-Men right now, so I don't know what the deal is with Xavier, with Cyclops, or any of them.
They just shot his ass.
I don't know what the hell. I mean, Xavier is always getting shot.
I know. I'm like, it's too soon. Too soon for me. I'm like, it's like they. Too soon.
But this is my whole thing. Kind of was going to like if Xavier was still running the school, whoever's running the school, right? They open up like a fucking worldwide, like a connection where there's a school in Japan.
X universe.
There's a school in this part of the world, but they're all run by different headmasters.
They did that.
Oh, so they did.
They did try that. It was like I forgot what it was called. But they definitely did the thing where they had like X-Men embassies.
Yeah,
all over the world.
But was it still at the end of the day about like the X-Men or them? Because I'm saying like
it was about the X-Men. So it's like Storm was running, I think, an embassy in Africa.
Yeah.
Who else? Bishop was running one.
Oh, okay, so
they all split up and they were in different as ambassadors.
No, but my idea of it is don't do that. Give this a different book. Call it X World or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But focus on the mutants around the world. You have enough focus on the X-Men, with fucking Uncanny X-Men, with X-Force. We have enough focus on all of them. I don't know. People might not read it. They might not like it.
But you need a centralized story. What's the connection?
No. The X-Men are still the heart of it, but they're not the focus, you know? So, like, if Emma Frost is running, you will see pages of them talking to Emma Frost or this and that, and then sometimes... I mean, I don't know. The main focus is just...
It could work, like I said, you do the thing where, like, everybody's separated, and then there's, like, an overall theme that's going down behind a subplot, and so all of them are, like, you know, trying to coordinate in order to handle that subplot. Yeah. Like
someone's attacking all the schools, or they know where all the locations. Like, okay, we're gonna do this, so they all kind of match up.
Yeah, but like I said, I think with Hickman, he's definitely trying to give you.
He's gonna build up to something crazy and epic because that's what he does.
He's changed the landscape. So instead of being like, mutants and humans need to get together, I love that he's like, fuck the humans. They don't like us. Fuck them. Yeah. I feel like black people, like, you don't like us. We just can't be concerned with that.
I've always, honestly, like, as an X-Men story, I've always wanted the one where Xavier and all be like, you know what, fuck you guys then. You don't want us, then fuck you. We don't need you.
We come to you.
Yeah. We're here to
help.
Open
hands and hugs. We bring you hip hop. We bring you fucking, like, dope ass sports players, R&B. We bring all this love, soul food cooking. We bring all this shit to the table, but you still think we just want your drugs and we want your money and just want to loaf off of you. It's like, dude, we invented the fucking light bulb, the casing for the light bulb, peanut butter, fucking like the car, the fucking the stoplight.
And something I learned, which has. It's pretty fucking funny. It's I don't know if you ever seen the ESPN 30 for 30 documentaries, but they do a mini 30 for 30, and they're only like 10 minutes. This was the origin of the fucking high five. So, and this was a trip. The person who created the high five was a baseball player in the 70s, and he was a gay black man who created the high five. And I always assumed a high five was a white man thing. I was like, to me, it's just too white.
It's too much flavor for white people to come up with. Not dissing.
No, but honestly, really, a high five is kind of lame right now. Like
it could be done lame.
Yeah,
but done right, it shit is a pinnacle of cool.
I think
high five, motherfucker.
I think to me, it's because like we do the fist bump. We'll do that.
Black people.
We'll do that and the fist bump. Mm-hmm. Well, that's Mexicans too, because Mexican, our dumbasses just we come up with different handshakes as well.
I believe.
So, but yeah, the high five, I always like that's a white man has to do it because I always like a guy going like high five, brother. I'm like, no, white man, back the fuck up.
No, I can't see that.
So when I saw that documentary, I was like, that's fucking awesome. I was like, not only was a black man, but he was a gay black man. And he was the one who they even showed the picture where he yanks his hand all the way back to high five his partner, who just hit like a home run, I guess. And the guy was like, I didn't know what the fuck he was trying to do. He's like, I don't know if he was gonna slap me or whatever. He's like, so he just raised his hand and they both did it.
That's dope.
And that was the beginning of it. I was like, that's funny.
Dope.
I was like, it started from baseball. I was like,
did you know a black man created Jack Daniels?
Really?
And then a white man swooped the formula.
Yeah, I believe
so that's it. So if you go to the store, you see something called Uncle Neighbors.
Yeah.
That's from the original black man's formula, who didn't get props for coming up with Jack Daniels joint. You know what I mean? That's like KFC. Colonel Sanders swooped from a sister in Kentucky the recipe. Yeah. And everybody in Kentucky knows this shit. But it's like they don't give brothers and sisters the props that we deserve, but they think we want to fucking like sponge and take away and be some villains on some shit. I'm like, no. But we on some racial shit. Come on, let's get back to the
well, it's X-Men. X-Men is racial, so
it is.
At the end of the day, it goes back to all that.
So when you say in a whole world of mutants or a book focusing on mutants around the world type scenario and how I'm like, So Hickman doing what he did was definitely the mission to be like, you know what? Fuck humans. We come at you enough gifts and love, and you still look at us like we fucking redhead stepchildren.
Well, not only that, they saved the world
multiple times. And even when they come and say, "Yo, quit killing us.
Mm-hmm.
Stop choking us out." My life matters. And they're like, we still don't care. It's like, what are you supposed to do? So the fact that Xavier and Magneto are like on the same page, like, you know what? Fuck them. Yeah. We just gonna be over here, and if you fuck with us, you getting stabbed. Mm-hmm. We warned you. Don't come over here in the hood. We're gonna stab you. And it is what it is. I'm like, damn, I like this story. Yeah. So the fact that the story now, the X-Men world now is like that, I love it. The X-Men, Magneto, Xavier on the same page, but them killing Xavier in the last issue of not X-Men. It was a new. Not one. What was it? I forgot one. Damn, I got them all.
Probably was X-Men. The first one.
Second one.
The second issue.
Yeah, they shot him because who was it?
Bishop
the Reavers
parachuted
onto the island and started shooting up everybody. I'm like, what? Already? I'm like, and they get past Krakoa's defenses and everybody. They weren't. You telling me the mutants weren't ready for this? Yeah. And so Xavier's running. I'm like, you telling me that Xavier's running and they able to shoot him and kill him and I was like, what is this? So I think he's trying to do the thing where Magneto's the number one now.
The new Xavier?
Well, not even the new Xavier until they bring Xavier back because they've done the thing where death can be rectified in the X-Men universe and it makes sense and I'm cool with that. But until then, Magneto's the one running shit. And then they're doing some of the stories like in Fallen Angels where Psylocke, the Asian version of her, is just like, I need to go off the island and I need permission, I guess, to go where I need to go.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not giving you permission and I ain't denying you. It's kind of shady how he's doing it, and it's just like
I can neither confirm or deny.
Yeah, right, you need to go see
so you do whatever
Sinister,
you want.
and he can help you with that shit. But I ain't telling you nothing. Type scenario, and it's like, oh Lord,
because he probably knows what the price is going to be.
Well, like she's like
you're gonna go meet Sinister, so there's always a price.
Of course, and she's like, I need to go do something, and I'm probably gonna break some Krakoan laws.
Yeah.
There's somebody who killed my child, and I want his head.
Okay.
And one of the laws is you cannot kill a human. So it's like, yeah, I can't deny or accept any damn thing. I gotta, mum's the word.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there like, okay, I see what they're doing, but it's okay. I want that rush. Like each issue of Powers of X, House of X was like, ooh, a new installment.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because they were considered those epics. So that's why it felt that way. It's like War of the Realms, like Infinity. That one, that's the Avengers one that he did. That one I freaking read over and over because I love
the one where he took him through the history, like quickly.
Avengers. It was.
I remember that where he took the Avengers all the way to the future, where it's like a
planet. That was towards the end of his Avengers run, and that was leading to Original Sin.
Okay.
Because that was the one about the Watcher and then Nick Fury becoming the Watcher. And then he makes Thor drop the hammer. And that was written by Jason Aaron, which, later on did all the Thor. So he was building that up quietly, I guess.
Okay.
But yeah, it was, fuck, I lost track.
Yeah. So yeah, he definitely was on some like futuristic thinking and planning and shaping of the Avengers world and the X-Men world universe, and Marvel's like, this guy got the chops, want to let him be the gatekeeper, and so him being the gatekeeper for the X-Men universe, I'm like, okay, but I'm like, out of all the new joints that that are coming out of the number ones, I'm like, so New Mutants was cool, because I love New Mutants from back in the day. I loved, because it was like, oh, this is the future of the X-Men. This is, I can't wait to see these characters grow and evolve into what they're supposed to be. So it's always like, you don't know what they're going to be yet, but we keep hitting at it, and like, you see what they, they doing their thing, and like, I was always on the edge of my seat, like, teenage X-Men, love it, and like, Wolfsbane, Sunspot, Cannonball, Karma, Magma, Moon, what is it? Daniel Moonstar? Is it Moonstar?
Moonstar? Sounds familiar.
Mirage.
I want to keep saying Moon Knight, but that's a different guy.
No. But it's like,
I think it is Moonstar.
I think it is.
Shit.
But it can't be Moonstar.
What was he in then? Was it
You're talking about Moonstar.
No, is it?
Moonstar is the bad dude from Silverhawks. The might, the madness of Moonstar. Yeah, so yeah, I remember that motherfucker. He used to ride around a giant squid with an armor.
We should do an episode where we talk about not obscure, but
cartoons like that.
Yeah, like villains who are very like
who are dope. Like have a villains episode, like
like funky villains.
Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy?
Yeah,
I fuck with that. But like,
anyways, getting back to that,
New Mutants was a good read. Excalibur was a good read. So like New Mutants was supposed to be like the future of the next generation of X-Men, but the way they're running everything, it's like they don't feel like the next generation. They just feel like, you love the New Mutants, here they are again, and here's the other side of them. So they have them doing some things where like, okay, they're getting into their offbeat adventures. The characters are together. They got Mondo and the dude who can merge with what is his powers? He can like I guess merged with the land, merged with. He was a member of damn, was it? It was the X-Men when they tried to redo the New Mutants, and they had the White Queen and they had Banshee leading the next generation of mutants, and they had.
I don't think I ever read that.
You never read that one?
I don't think so.
It was cool because they had Skin, they had Monet, they had fuck. They had Mondo, they had Jubilee, they had all these the next generation of characters and shit, and they were being raised by the White Queen, and they were being raised by Banshee.
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay, I forgot the fuck the name of the book was, but they have this him in there, and they have all the original members too, but no Magma and no Cannonball yet.
Okay.
But they were on a mission to go find Cannonball in this book, and they took him to the Shi'ar Galaxy. And they're riding with the Shi'ar, not the Shi'ar, but the Starjammers.
Oh, okay.
And so like, okay, cool. And then Starjammers leave them on the other side of the galaxy. They're like, you know what? Y'all done pissed us off. You stole my Jack Daniels. You fucking destroyed some plant life that we're trying to grow into the. Did all kind of shit that's fucked up to them. They're like, you know what? Fuck y'all. We leaving y'all here. Y'all got magic. Y'all can teleport back. We out. And, and then like the Shi'ar Imperial. Guards are like, got them at gunpoint, like, so you don't know what's happening in the next issue.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, I'm cool with this. Offbeat, quirky adventures. Sure, you bring Cannonball back, cool. Artwork in it is okay. I wish they definitely would do. And I know I'm an art snob. I tell a motherfucker from the giddy up. I'm an art snob. I ain't saying I'm better than anybody, but I want what I want when I want it. And I want the X-Men to be dope. They gave me service in House of X and Powers of X. Those motherfuckers killed it with the top tier artwork, top tier coloring, top tier writing, top tier all that shit. And so now they got the new joints, and they're like, well, we got some good artists. We got some dope, some peoples and shit. But I'm like, are they? They're not that bad, but it's like, could we do better? I know y'all got the money, and I know that y'all trying to like divvy it up, but y'all can always go through the Rolodex and pull out some top tier motherfuckers if you're gonna have them. And because I know that, because you know how it is. Unless they're gonna have these artists on these books for a nice run, they're probably gonna do like 5 issues and then switch up the artwork. Yeah. So I'm saying, like, can y'all pick somebody dope off the cup, and then come back in with these other?
I think most of those are busy right now because like the dope artists are actually already doing stuff. Like to me, Asad Rivik, I love his ass, but he did the new King Thor again, and then he's been doing he did like an independent book called, I think it was called Versus. It was an Image comic. Like, so he, I think most of these guys are also just like, you know what, Marvel and DC is great, but over here at Image, I just make my own shit and I'll make some cash. But I still do Marvel and DC.
Oh, no doubt.
But they're like, but maybe their focus is like, I still want to do my creator own shit.
And since with the new day and age of like the independents, and
there's a lot more freedom that you don't have to be a slave to fucking DC and Marvel.
I feel that too, but definitely like, I don't know. I just feel like they definitely try to get some good ass motherfuckers on the cut, but they're just like, okay, we gonna relax a little bit. It seemed like with the X-Men run, it's like, we can't lose this. We got.
I think it was a build up because they're like, we have a lot running on this. Like, if we fail, then we fucked up. Then we fucked up bad, and we're gonna have to fix it somehow.
Yeah.
So that's how they probably were like, we're gonna get the best of the best. We're gonna get like Hickman. Hickman's just gonna do whatever the fuck he wants. Maybe they let him choose the artist. Because if you're giving Hickman this much freedom,
have him choose the right. Like,
I wonder if they let him choose every single fucking thing.
He definitely had to okay the shit. He's the gatekeeper, so he had to okay the shit and be like, this art, okay, cool. This writer, okay, cool.
Or maybe he threw in like a hint, like, this guy would be pretty good for this, or this guy.
Maybe.
Not like, hey, get this guy or I'm not doing it, but it's...
No. I'm sure some situation where he's just like, these I'm sure the samples that these cats turned in were dope. But then it's like, it's the difference between doing a full 22 pages or whatever, as opposed to like 5-page samples to get work.
Yeah.
Or some pinups and shit. So I think some of these cats probably was like, they were impressive with some pinups. Yeah. And like, here's some official samples, and they probably killed it. But then doing 22 pages, it's like, okay, this can wear on you. It's not everybody's built for that shit. And so some of these books are like the first 5 pages of it. It's like, oh, this is dope. I see why you on the cut. Yeah. And then as it goes through, you be like, the artwork changed a little bit. Like, what is this? Oh, okay. What? Okay. I'll have to take it because it's what it is,
Yeah.
you know. And it's not everybody's built for this, you know.
Well, that's why like he probably had all that freedom for House of X and Powers of X, and now that it's done, they're like, thank you, Hickman. You restored our X-Men.
You
restored X-Men and the people's faith in X-Men and all this and that. Like, so now you're gonna, like you said, you're the gatekeeper. You're the Scorpion Weaver. We're Rick Moranis. You're the Keymaster.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And so maybe next they're like, okay, we're gonna relaunch all the titles.
Well, yeah.
And you know you're gonna run X-Men and that's it. And maybe they didn't give him as much freedom with the artist this time, or I'm sure he loved the artist. He's like, all right, I'm gonna do his shit, but.
Yeah, like I said, the artist probably gave him some dope, solid ass shit.
But at the same time, it's like, cause like how you said, they're more kind of relaxed now. Cause that fucking way is like, oh, like when DC releases a movie, you bet their ass is like clinched.
Yes.
And then when the movie's actually good, they're like, oh, I could fucking relieve it now.
But DC's like that though.
No, yeah, but Marvel, I think with the whole X-Men thing was they had a lot riding on it. It paid off, and now they're like, we get to coast on all that money that fucking Hickman made us.
All this hype, all this money, all this attention and shit. And the part of me is like, I wish they would have. I'm cool with them leaking number ones every week. Like here's what we doing. Boom, 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 boom. Some new X-Men joints, and we're gonna just cover you in X-Men joints, right?
Yeah.
But a part of me wishes they're like, no, let's not put out Fallen Angels. Let's not put out Excalibur. Let's not put out New Mutants. Let's not put out any of these joints. We're gonna leak them to you while we reestablish the universe. So if you're gonna focus on the X-Men and Krakoa and the island and the politics scene going like what's going down with the mutants and the humans on this planet and what's going down, the state of affairs now, I'm like, well, cool. Let's focus on that. Build that up and keep that going. And then you'd be like, well, here's the Marauders. Here's which is Kitty Pryde, working for Emma Frost. She's not allowed on Krakoa for some reason. She's like the only mutant that's not allowed on there, and they don't know why. But she's like, well, fuck it. She can phase through anything, but she can't phase through the barrier to get on the fucking Krakoa. And so she's on a ship. She's like, well, her whole job with handpicked mutants like Storm, Pyro, Iceman, and who else? Black Tom Cassidy, I think. And I think that's it. But their whole job is like there are some nations that won't let mutants come to Krakoa. So they're like, Kitty and her crew is like, well, we can give you safe passage. We'll come pick you up and come get you. And we'll do under the table dealings with nations too, or with people in those nations that haven't accepted mutants. Because they're like, one of the things with mutants, like, you either accept us or you don't. And if you don't, fuck you.
Yeah.
If you do, we'll give you these drugs that will help cure your mental illnesses, help extend the human life. We'll you with us, we down with you. But if you don't fuck with us, then we ain't fucking with you.
Yeah.
And there are people that were like, oh, we still want to do some back dealings. We want those drugs that can help cure mental illness and shit. And so Kitty's crew is like, well, we're gonna go around and help, facilitate that shit. So I understand that aspect of what the book is and what they bring it to the table. They could have definitely did a thing where they did a X world or X universe book like you was talking about.
Yeah.
And it's like after House of X, after Powers of X, and be like, well, this is the X-Men world, and it's dealing with all these different titles in the amount that dictates going with the story in the world going forward, without giving you too much, without giving you too little, just leaking like, well, what's up with the dealings of people needing to get off their nations and shit, and well, we got that. It's Kitty and her crew. What about the magic aspect of it? Well, there's Captain Britain, which is Betty Broderick, which is Excalibur. That's the magic aspect of things. There's things that they could have leaked in that and then did a book going into that shit, but they're just like, no, we're gonna give it all to you, boom, 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 just like it's a cash grab. And I'm like, okay. And
at this point, it probably is now.
Of course it is, and it's just like, it's not like that way. I think if they could have picked teams to do the art and the writing that is like, just undeniable, as opposed to like, well, this is what you're getting, and it's good, but it's what you're getting. And I'm like, well, you set the bar so fucking high with the initial launch that now everything else is under the bar. And I'm like, this is not Limbo. This is like, pole vaulting. Come on now.
The greatest thing they could have ever done, and this is just me wishing it, and I'm sure you'd be down with this too, was imagine if they did what they did, releasing all these X-Men titles. So Hickman takes X-Men and Excalibur, they somehow get Chris Claremont to come back.
Dude.
Or John Byrne. They get both of them and be like imagine if
hold on,
if the guys who brought...
Hold on. And like I said, I might get some hate mail, but I'll definitely be like, love those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Chris Claremont, John Byrne, gods. All day. Like, when I go to the store and go through the back issues and shit, I'm definitely looking for old John Byrne joints.
Yeah.
Old fucking Claremont joints and shit. Love them.
Yeah.
With the new way things are going down, I don't know if I would want them on the new joints.
Do you think he couldn't write it that well, or do you think Byrne couldn't draw it that well?
It's that.
I mean, no.
So it's not a matter. So if you're talking about Byrne on just
drawing, I'm just saying, imagine these dream teams that did that.
I think that they're so set in what they bring to the table that they won't let. I don't think they'll follow directions.
Oh yeah. So they're not gonna follow the boundaries that Hickman, the rules Hickman wrote. They're like, nah, fuck that.
Right. I'm doing what I want. You know,
like who is this?
Right. Like John Byrne drawing it. But getting somebody as an inker who can come in and make his artwork pop again. Yeah. He's so used to pencil ink his own shit now that it's like, you know, it would be dope if you get John Byrne and then you get like Rich Friend or Mark Irwin or, you know, Townsend or somebody else who's like, you know what, this is a motherfucking polished new school inker who's like who brings real estate. Yeah. You know, even Terry Austin. You know what I mean? So like bringing people that are proven. Who are new school, like, you know, I bring real estate to these pencils. I'll be like, will John Byrne let a motherfucker bring that to the table? Or he'd be like, well, you're stepping on my toes. Or you know, I don't know. So I'm sitting there like, I don't know if I want him on the cut.
Well, I'm just saying this as they like
I said, in Claremont, I'm like, I love Claremont treats the X-Men like their family. Like he knows these motherfuckers. And I'm like, I love that. But Hickman is clearly like, I love what you did, homie. Now I'm going to take the ball and run with it. Yeah. And so to get Claremont back on the cut, you have to make sure that he's ready. Like, is Grandpa ready to fucking, you know, come back? Or is he going to be like, you know, well, in my day, it was like this, and I'm going back to that shit because I love it. And I'm like, okay, we loved it too, but this is a new scenario, homie. We need you just to come in and play ball, you know, be a team player.
Let's just say this.
They probably could.
Let's just say in the perfect world, they do all that you said. Mm-hmm. They work as a team and all. But I'm saying, like, not just them. I'm saying if you bring back all these old issues, like whoever was drawing Excalibur at that time, whoever was drawing fucking
Alan Davis,
Uncanny X-Force or X Factor, like imagine those teams, maybe even for like a 5-issue run and that's it. But imagine if they just came back.
So when they did X-Force, which is I don't know who the new artist is, and I will say the first like 5-6 pages of it was so fucking dope. And then as the book went on, it was like,
I saw those. I didn't really like the art that much.
Yeah, it changed because like he was definitely on all cylinders popping. Like the first 7 pages of it, killing it. Dominoes undercover doing their thing, and then like the artwork. I was like, this art is sick. And then as the book goes on, and the Reavers come in and skydive, and that's the one where Xavier gets shot. Yeah. So I was just like, the artwork changed. I was like, the quality went down. He had to get that deadline done. I was like, nope, he's not bringing the same level of like oomph.
Well, also, he might get better over time.
But imagine, like, say, if they was doing the damn thing and if they wanted to impress a motherfucker, they'd have been like, we're gonna get Capullo back for 5 issues of X-Force. I'd be like, hell yes, because you know he serves and he was on X-Force. Bring it. I'm gonna get Alan Davis back on Excalibur. Fuck yeah, because he's still serving. Old ass, killing it, motherfucker.
Again, going back to him again, Saad Ribic did my favorite X-Force run. Okay. Uncanny X-Force. It was him and Rick Remender. Yeah. The one that was focusing on Angel and Psylocke. It's a beautiful fucking story.
So if they got folks like that on these cuts, but I understand they're giving younger cats or new cats
you get
the chance, and I'm not mad at that either. They bringing it. It's okay. I'm loving it. I'm buying them. Yeah, they're selling. Yeah, you know what I say is whatever. I'm an art snob. Yeah. So, but I was like, but in a perfect world, dude, like I said, if they want to play that game, I'll be like, bring back motherfuckers that was killing it back. So if you want to have like New Mutants drawn by like Brett Blivens or Sienkiewicz, yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like give me some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like let them, and you're only gonna get 5 to 7 issues before you change up the art again. Yeah. I would love that. See, that's a better plan for me. I'm cool with that because I know they're just gonna give you like maybe 3 or 4 issues.
But it doesn't matter because you're like, the last time they did this was years ago or whatever, however long.
But it's not. But it's not give. It just feels like I said, it feels like a cash grab.
Oh, because it definitely is.
And I don't want that. Like I said, when Hickman,
none of us want it. But
when he was doing House of X, Powers of X, it didn't feel like a cash grab. It feels like I have a story to tell, and I have the keys to the kingdom.
Yeah.
And I'm an Uber fan, and I finally get the chance to drive the car daddy, and I'm about to fucking drive this. I'm about to drive us to the party, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm riding. I can't wait to get out and show my ass at the party. What the fuck?
Like I said, the only reason they did that was because they knew they had to fucking do something with the X-Men. They're like, all right, we got to revamp this or whatever. Because
it's because they finally got the X-Men back. So as long as they didn't, because comics,
well, they had them.
Comics,
because Bendis was writing them for a while.
Comics has a ceiling now called the movies.
No, yeah.
So if you can't do shit with your character in the movies, the cinematic, you can only take it so far. So the X-Men,
but they don't want to do anything new.
They can't do anything because every time, who was it? Fox owned them. Fox kept fucking them up. So Marvel's like, why would we keep doing dope ass, interesting ass Marvel stories? I mean, with these X-Men stories, if we can't do shit with them in the movies like we want to and need to, and the people who own them keep fucking it up. So they're like, we're not gonna do shit with the X-Men anymore, and just leave it alone. So when they got it back, they're like, oh, we got our toys back.
Same thing with Fantastic Four. That's
Fantastic
why
Four,
it came out.
Spider-Man, all that shit.
No, Spider-Man, Sony.
But they worked out a deal.
They
worked out a deal where they're like, okay, we can still touch it. We can still do things with it. We still.
Well, that's the weird thing with Spider-Man, because how you're saying what happened with X-Men is the same thing that happened with Fantastic Four, right?
What?
Like they stopped making the books because they didn't want to have those companies use those stories to make more money. You know, like it's free cash. You're like, bitch, I stole your idea. That's free. That's mine now. So it makes no sense how Spider-Man was able to do that throughout the whole years. Spider-Man, like I said, it's always been Sony. But in the comic, in Marvel, that bitch never stopped. Imagine if they did that.
Because Spider-Man is...
Maybe they worked out with Sony, but I don't know.
Spider-Man is the heart of Marvel.
That's what I'm saying. Imagine if that happened at that time or whatever when we couldn't do normal X-Men. Like Marvel I think would have tanked or something. I don't know, man. Something would have had to come out of that fire and save Marvel if Spider-Man somehow was not able to make any new stories. Because, like I said, there's been constant fucking Spider-Man stories throughout the years that those movies have been out. From now to...
Sony.
I mean,
And then it's just like...
But I think Sony...
And they kept fucking it up.
No, yeah, but I'm saying like the comic books. Like the first Spider-Man was great. I loved it. William Dafoe was a badass Green Goblin. The second one... The
Marvel's X-Men... I mean, Marvel's Spider-Man joints...
No, I'm talking about...
The Tobey Maguire in them was not a Marvel joint.
No, I know. That was Sony.
You talking about... Okay, yeah.
But I'm saying, like, how is it that they were doing the movies and then they kept the Spider-Man comic running throughout the years because they stopped running X-Men and Fantastic Four because of the same problem. They didn't own the rights. So why did Spider-Man not stop? And I'm asking just because, like, if it did stop, it would have shut Marvel down, right? Or they would have been, like, very...
Spider-Man is a solid seller for him, I think. He's a house favorite.
Yeah.
He sells a certain amount. There's a certain, vibe that goes with Spider-Man. Yeah, they keep it running.
I feel that same way with X-Men and Fantastic Four, but that's just
Marvel.
But that's just me. But because I think you can ask any little kid. Do the flip, like Spider-Man, who's Wolverine? I don't fucking know. Spider-Man, because that's the first. I think that's the first thing. There was a long ass
time where X-Men weren't doing anything.
Yeah.
And it felt weird. As a long time Marvel head, it felt weird, and we were just like, "Damn, what happened to the stepchildren?"
It's the same thing with Fantastic Four. They were the first fucking family of Marvel.
Of course, but they have moments of like hot selling.
I think that the thing with
they never were like a solid super sell the whole damn time.
But the thing with Fantastic Four is when you get a good artist or writer on that shit, they could take it and go
Fantastic Four. No, of course.
And this was like, I have yet to read a lot of the originals, like the old school Fantastic Fours and all. I'm
all about them John Byrne joints.
I really am. Oh, I bought those, but I haven't read them yet. And I bought his Namor.
Oh, that Namor joint.
It's only 2 volumes, right? It's 2 volumes, right? Because I bought 2 volumes of it. Two Namors.
I will say that it's 2 volumes because I bought the originals when they came out, and I got the trades because I was like, damn, they collected, got to get it. So but they didn't. They missed like 5 more issues after this in the second one to end it up because he ended it where it's supposed to be like Iron Fist, and and Wolverine were fighting some plant creature, some shit.
Yeah.
And he brings back, because I think Iron Fist was supposed to be dead at the time.
Okay.
And so they resurrected him. So, he was doing some storytelling.
He was building up, I guess, to a. Well, not a third volume, but like how you said, a couple more issues or something, and it just stopped.
He was like, I'm doing some shit, and I'm about to do, the artwork was dope, the writing was dope. I'm like, he's giving it to you. I'm like, this shit is dope. And it was right before Jay Lee took over as the new artist on Namor.
Okay.
So that was when they said we about to fucking just.
Why is it too that a character like Namor, who is not really known that much, especially not by by non-comic book readers. Mm-hmm. So if I tell like, give me the names of the X-Men or give me this, and even though he's not an X-Men, technically he's a mutant. Right. I'm like, who the fuck is Namor? They're like, I don't know. But why is it that motherfucker's the baddest character in the whole this guy?
That's like Black Panther.
No, yeah, I mean both of them are just baddest. The shit. They're opposites.
As soon as they get the chance to be in the spotlight, they'll be loved by everyone.
I think what it is with Namor is just that fucking confidence, because he's like, yeah, Reed, you married to the hottest chick on the planet. But guess what? I'm gonna steal that bitch. Oh, yeah. And even Susan.
The thing about Namor,
Susan straight up doesn't say no. She's like, she plays with the
thing about
I don't
Namor
know.
Is he'll mack your bitch.
Yeah,
he'll take your bitch. He will take your bitch and then smack you in the mouth.
He'll go off flying with his flying shoes.
And go flying off with his wings
bitch.
on his ankles and shit. Like I said, he just rocking underwear. He's like, I'm just in my drawers, pilling hoes.
Yeah,
macking bitches, wings on my feet. Like
he got elf ears, but the motherfucker looks like Spock.
Fish underwear, and I'm fucking macking bitches.
And he's ripped
because his confidence is off the Richter.
Yeah,
he's a king.
A little too much.
He can fly. He's strong. It's like he's cocky. He's dope.
So
he's just dope.
I think we could agree with this to say that Marvel creates some of the best kings.
Yeah,
because I mean, you Black Bolt as well.
One
of the baddest motherfuckers as well.
T'Challa,
I mean, come on. I've seen Black Bolt has done Namor. Some things that have just made me want to cry. Be like, this guy's so fucking awesome. I mean, T'Challa too. That Secret War when T'Challa wears the fucking Infinity Gauntlet and Namor's right behind him, and then he tells Doom, he's like, he doesn't tell him I'm gonna fuck you up, but he's basically like,
I'm gonna fuck you up, son.
Yeah, I'm gonna fuck you up.
You about to get these hands,
and you're like,
you about to get this fake. Welcome to the barbershop. I'm about to fade you,
and you're like, God damn, T'Challa, like, yes, and especially the fact because Namor drowned the shit out of his city, out of Wakanda, and then like they wanted to kill each other, and they're like, all right, we're gonna put this aside because we gotta fight Doom.
See, T'Challa acts like he wanted Obama to act. He's like, you want him to be black, you want him to be everything that represents that, without being stereotypical.
But he's a king, so it's.
But when he speaks, there's a level of gravity that's like
it's gravitas.
You can't deny it.
And it's funny because the man in the comic, the man has no voice. You're the voice because you're reading it in your head, but you're reading the words.
No, or just
I'm just saying in like T'Challa or Black Bolt, you're reading them in your head. And you're like, if I registered their actual voice, they're probably a lot powerful than what I think.
Oh, the tone and shit.
Yeah. Like Black Bolt's voice. Whenever I read it, I have to whisper. I don't know why.
I think it's what they say and don't say that makes the gravity feel the way it feels. So it's like with Black Bolt being who he is, he ain't got to say shit because his voice is that powerful.
Yeah.
But because he doesn't say shit, everybody else around him is just like, yes, my king.
But he uses sign language though. So
with his wife.
No,
he don't really talk to everybody else. He don't do shit like.
Well, he actually talks with her because they both do that mind thing where she goes in his head. So,
I don't think it's that.
So they're in a garden. Yeah, that's how they talk.
So they do a psychic link.
Yeah. She has a psychic link.
That must be some new writing.
This is pretty old. So Medusa goes up she just goes up to his head and then they go into this like garden that they're inside of, and all she looks like is just like a red being and he's like a black being, like just color.
Who has the?
And he talks.
When, like I said, I'm because like I said, I love. Whenever they would do some new Inhuman joints, I would check for them. And I would say, from my understanding, is that they are so intertwined, so in love with each other, so meant for each other, destined and everything, that they can speak without words. They can understand.
No, they can
understand that.
Yeah.
So this whole aspect of like, well, there's a physical or mental place that they go to is some new joint to me.
It's because of that bond though.
Who wrote that?
It's that bond that you're saying that they had. It like opened another.
Terrigen Mist?
Yeah.
Terrigen bond?
Like I don't know. This was I think before, but like.
Because I'm saying they.
Well, because you're saying like they have a connection where they don't even have to speak to know.
Yeah.
But I think.
But people have that. That's believable.
No, yes.
Have that.
Yes. But you're also like she's a mutant as well. Or you're not a mutant, but
not mutants,
no, I know she's not mutant, but she has powers as well. So what's the?
But her whole thing is about her hair.
Yeah, But she somehow ends up getting like a psychic link, but
That's
only to him though.
But that's
nobody else. So to me, that's just evolution of maybe that love that they had. To me, it's believable.
To me, that's extra writing. Like that doesn't make any damn sense.
To me, it makes all the sense because
Why?
it makes
She has hair powers.
Yes. So
that doesn't mean mind.
Maybe her fucking maybe those powers came out later on. Maybe
how.
That's what I'm saying. I don't remember. I just remember.
I can understand when they're like, okay.
I just remember reading this a long time ago.
White Queen goes through a second mutation. They're like, second mutation? That's somebody who's a writer like, I'm about to do some clever shit. I'm about to put my stamp on it.
I think it's just evolution of the power. Because that makes sense.
So then, what is his second evolution of his power?
Oh,
what about
he doesn't have it. His voice is just stronger.
What about Lockheed? What about, I mean, not Lockheed, but Lockjaw. What about Crystal? What about all the other Inhumans? And none of them went through a second mutation or a second, change. But all of a sudden she does.
None of them are
that doesn't make sense to me. Like, it would be different if they said yes, and then human can go through a second power change. All right, well, cool. Then this is hers. Fine. But all of a sudden, for convenient writing, she gets a second power that allows her to only talk to Black Bolt, and they can communicate, which they've been communicating. I'm just like, that's somebody who wrote that shit.
I have no idea.
They need to get a whooping. They need to get give me a switch.
I think you're wrong in this because to me it brings a whole level of more intimacy to it, and it shows them.
But it doesn't.
Because to you, like
I just wanted to make. I feel like
I get it.
I hate when they say, "Well, it's comics just because it's comics." Well, it's just comics. I'm like, that's like fart jokes. It's the lower level of the comic based denominator.
To me, them not talking and just looking, to me, that's just comics. To me, them actually. No, it is,
because people do that. People do that.
But okay,
you could be.
You can't.
You could be over there.
At the end of the day,
and I could be over here. But I know you well enough that we can speak without hearing each other.
But at the end of the day,
Josh ain't happy.
Yeah. You could just
He's not happy, or he's hungry, or I can tell he's getting mad or some shit. You know what I mean? I can see that shit. There's nonverbal communication.
Oh yeah.
There's sign language. There is behavior patterns that people are aware of, and I understand that. Like, so I'm like, cool. They have that already. Fine.
But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day.
If
it's a comic book and they're Inhumans, and you can like basically.
It would make more sense to me if they did a thing where like Black Bolt can't speak, but he has a new way of communicating, like humming or vibrating his tonsils or some shit.
That would still break shit though.
Because
his voice is that powerful.
But it's like his whole thing is that it's all about sonics.
Oh, okay.
So the fact that he's able to take his larynx or something to make some vibrations or some shit, and she's like, okay, that's some humming. It's a different type of communication. And she reads it, and it makes her hair stand on end or some shit. I can make that. That makes more sense to me.
He actually does that in one of the books, but he uses it to destroy, not to talk. Like he like vibrates something and does it. But
you understand what I'm saying? Where it's like I said, him using sonics of some sort, and it makes her hair stand up on end, and they can communicate in a way that's only between them. I can vibe with that more than them saying, "Well, we got a second mutation."
But let's say this,
and we go in a garden, and we just can, we're he's black and I'm red, and we can just communicate amongst ourselves. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
It's like an astral plane, kind of, I guess.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. It's just from left field.
But this might explain it a little. Mm-hmm. It might have been Max's fault, or not his fault, but maybe his doing, because there is in the New Avengers, if you remember, there's Maximus, which is Black Bolt's brother. If you guys don't know, he creates a fucking like a weird dome. Mm-hmm. And they go into this dome, and it's like a pocket reality that Max has found that has some, I forget, it's all sciencey, but it has something in there, in that atmosphere, that Black Bolt can speak, and his voice won't fucking...
I remember that.
It won't do that. And it's just like a barren planet. Like, it's just a big ball, but inside, and It
allows Black Bolt to communicate.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's to say, maybe a writer didn't be like, okay, maybe I'll invent a new way for them to communicate. And I said, I don't...
Well, hold on.
I will figure out this origin. We will figure out the origin of it, and then we'll talk about it.
I'm
but
not opposed to that.
I'm just throwing out theories.
I know, but it's just like I said, this idea that you're talking about with them, being able to mind meld and shit is like a writer just talking out the side of their ass again to me, and I just can't write with that shit. If you make it make sense on some level, I understand just comics. I understand putting a stamp on. I understand that shit, and I'm down for it. Give me something different. Show me something. Evolve my characters. I'm cool with that. But don't throw me bullshit and make me eat it. Don't just give it to me because you the writer on the motherfucking because you think you clever. You got a joke. You're not funny. I can't fuck with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't fuck with
it.
But
what I will say is what that thing does between like when they ever go into that mode and they're talking to each other, what it does to all the other wives that he has is create like a tension and be like, why does this bitch get to talk to him that way and I don't?
And
like,
I,
what?
And I
it creates like a whole thing, and then like
But
betrayal comes in and all that shit.
That's good writing. So the good writing is like, well, these two have a connection that the other bitches don't.
Yeah, and they're hating on it.
And they hate on it. That's good writing. I'm cool with that.
Like, they already hate her because she's a queen.
I'm curious. Show me something. But like I said, when you just make shit up off the side of the ass and be like, well, they can do some new... That's like, I can't even front. As much as I love the White Queen, and she had the second mutation of having diamond skin, that's just out her ass. That's out who wrote that shit?
No idea.
You reading the motherfucking X-Men shit now with
I don't think I've ever read
Grant Morrison. I think Grant Morrison wrote that shit where he's like, she has a second mutation. Now, the mutants getting a second mutation, fine, I can believe it. Why the fuck not? Her getting a mutation where she has diamond skin, I'll allow it, whatever. But it's out the ass. Why does her skin get diamond hard? Why not, like, she's just like a telekinetic? Why something with her mind or something? Why a physical power? It's just from left field. It just doesn't seem like. It just seems like I just want to do some weird shit and I'm gonna make it. I'm just gonna do it, and it's like, I don't know. Well, I mean, make it within the bounds of the reality that we're all riding with. Don't just come in like, you're gonna eat this fucking,
well, if you
shit that you never heard of before.
If you think about it, her diamond skin is just a defense mechanism. So
if she grew a telekinetic skin layer, that's one thing. If she's like
that one chick,
armor.
Yeah.
So if armor powers were her second the White Queen's second mutation, I'll be down with that because it's mental. It gives her a hard ass skin.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. It makes sense to me.
But to me, I think they wanted to give her like that.
They were just trying to be sexy.
Well, no, not as. I mean that too. But there's also also that thing is when she transforms into diamond skin, she can't use her telekinetic powers,
and that's fine.
So that gives her that. So she has to sacrifice it. Like, what do I do? What do I do?
So you can still do that if she had armor powers, where it's like she's using her totality of her focus needs to be on creating this armor skin that's telekinetic armor. Fine. Then she can't use her telepathy, but it's focused on its armor skin. Same shit. I'm cool with that. It's just, but it makes sense. It just makes sense, and it's more believable as opposed to her just all of a sudden get this diamond skin because she's a posh bitch, and diamonds are posh, and she's like, well, I turn into diamonds. That's all. That's all it was. That's all it was.
Isn't it almost the same thing with Colossus because he's Russian, so he turns into steel, which is just like Russia. It's like, we're Russia.
No. So Colossus being a mutant who can turn into osmium steel that's his power. So that's fine. So. Okay, it ain't got nothing to do with like I'm Russian and we're hard Russians and shit like that. If that's the creative backbone behind why they gave him steel skin in the first place, that's the creative juice. That's them. We're going to create some shit. We want to use a Russian. Let's use that's like being black in a character and you say, well, he got magnetic afro powers or some shit, you know. Or he got like an afro that can do, make a force field or some shit, because he got an afro and he black, he can do it, I'm like, okay, well, fine. You being creative, that's your level of it. I'm cool with that. But
you kind of just said that with Emma, because you're like, oh, she's British or whatever, and she's all posh, so I'm diamonds and this. So you kind of just said
no. Like I said, so if Emma being posh, that's her character development. She's rich and richy, but all that other shit.
The power has nothing to do with her.
I know. So I'm saying.
It shouldn't.
So if I'm saying afro powers because they want to use a black character, and he had the afro because they think afros and black people are synonymous, and they're like, well, what can we do with this afro power? Well, it makes a force field, or it grows, or it glows, or it levitates, or some shit. Okay, but it's like, well, fine. But like Colossus being made of steel because he's like being Russian and shit. It's like afro powers. He black. He's Russian. He's hard. Steel. Okay, whatever. That's that's what sparked your creativity. Fine. Yeah. So if Emma was like not a telepath, but she's like, I'm posh and I got diamond skin, fine. She's been established as a posh, rich bitch with uber telepathic powers. Now, for the sake of convenient storytelling, she goes through a second mutation and she has diamond skin from out of the blue. Well, there is a character that has diamond skin powers. Her name is Bling, and I'm like, all right, cool, that makes sense. But like I said, if I just don't like convenient.
It was Emma's came out because she was about to die, and then like
she could have made armor,
and then she
could have had telekinetic armor.
No.
She could have had that.
Nope. And I will tell you this because the moment she thinks she's about to die,
I remember that.
That brain is controlling and shuts off her powers.
You talking about the guy brain?
Like, yeah, no, it's... I forget what it is, but what are they called? The third mutants or the third kind? They basically kill mutants, steal their genes, and put it in...
Oh, humans. You're talking about the humans, yeah.
Yeah, the human guy.
Yeah,
so he has like these brains in jars, and apparently they're very like strong telekinetic brains. So then when Cyclops and her come in to fucking confront the guy, he's like, they try to use their powers, and he's like, why can't I fire my beam? She's like, I don't know. He's like, oh, this brain right here shut it all off.
Okay.
So that's when they were like killing her. They were choking the shit out of her, I believe. And right when she was about to die, like her thing just instant kicked in, and her skin all of a sudden just turned into that diamond form where they couldn't hurt her.
And so for you, it's cool.
It's a second mutation, and those mutations are only come up when life-threatening shit happens. It's the same thing with any history, like any power show or anything with powers. Like, you know, whenever you're in danger, that's when it comes out the most, or this and that. You know, to me. Not saying that I'm a big fan of that power or any of that, but I'm just saying, like, it kind of made a little sense because, okay, they shut off her fucking telekinesis. So that would make sense if her whole power was mind armor, you shut that off, she's fucked. So she has a second. No. To me, it's like a safe, like an extra.
If her brain, a part of her brain is mainly devoted towards telepathy, I'm like, dope. And then whatever this brain in a jar does to shut that part of her brain down, fine. So if her brain kicks in, like, you know what? But here's another part of her brain that can kick in and help protect her, which is the telekinetic armor. I'm like, well, cool. Because she clearly was still talking, still living, still breathing. Her brain, part of her brain was still working. So, like, you can still say, all right, her brain, her mutant power is her brain and how it works and shit. You can use a different part of her brain to help protect her. That makes it just. I just don't like. But I just don't like non-creative creatives being, you know, just doing shit because they're trying to. Like when people get on the X-Men, like, well, I don't like Colossus, so I don't know what to do with him. Let's kill him. I don't like Nightcrawler. I don't know what to do with him. Let's kill him. I'm like, well, what the fuck, really?
Well, with those
extreme,
and this is the weird thing with Grant Morrison's X-Men is he quietly kind of drew them as not teenagers, but like in their 20s. So they didn't look like. To me, the X-Men were always in their 30s. I don't know about
he drew them like they were definitely adults. They were adults of the mansion at the time.
And they were attractive people. They were like 28 or 27. They
weren't up like this. Nobody's trying to draw the X-Men ever where they're like their age properly.
No, yeah, I get that. But if you, I mean, I might just be going deeper into it than I should. But it's
probably
if you're young, if you're a young mutant and you don't know what the fuck to do with your powers and what the fuck. So Emma Frost, you saying Emma Frost has like, if she's a telepath and she could know this and this. What's to say this wasn't like the early days of this bitch? Even though we know it's not because she's come out way before in all these other books. But how books work, you know, these motherfuckers want to take their own thing and put a stamp and all that. Also, we don't really know what the fuck his motivation was. What was Grant Morrison's motivation to do it? What?
To put his stamp on the X-Men while he was
supposed to be
getting paid to do X-Men.
Did he come out like straight up and be like, yeah, I created Emma, like I made Emma Frost be this just because I wanted a cash grabber,
No. He was probably like, I want to put my stamp on the X-Men while I get the chance to do the X-Men. What could I do? That we ain't seen before. Have a mutant go through a second mutation. Let's do that shit. Cool.
But did we see that before though?
No, not before that. Who? There was nobody to go through a second mutation.
Oh, okay.
And be called that. So it's like if
because I'm saying like Wolverine, he has two mutations clearly.
What?
The claws and the healing factor.
No, the claw. His mutant powers is that he's feral, he has senses, he has a healing ability, and he pops claws out. All of that is his ability. All of that is his ability. So the metal on his bones has got grafted to him by humans trying to do things with him.
But then the way you worded it, I could word that same way with Emma Frost's power. I could be like, oh, that. Well, please do. That diamond shit has a connection to that.
But you're not. You're not linking it properly to be like I said.
No,
Wolverine having bone claws. As a mutation, he has heightened senses and he's very feral, very animalistic.
But it feels like a cheat. Factor. Now, when you say it like that, it feels like a cheat because you're you can't give this.
All I'm doing, that was his power. That was given to him. That was what it was. Nobody came in and changed that shit. They added to it. It'd be different if you changed it, but you're adding to it. Well, that's one thing. So they did adamantium grafting on his bone claws.
So how about when he finds new techniques?
And when they made him originally. Created the character, they gave him metal claws. They wasn't bone claws. It was just metal claws.
No, yeah, I know. Later on, they made because later of the origins
on, writers
and all that.
Were like, well, let's make sense. Let's add on to it.
Yeah.
I'm cool with the add on to it if it makes sense. I don't like when people come in and just change the shit. Oh, what you liked and knew, we ain't doing that no more.
Yeah.
Because we've got a fresh idea. I'm like, no, if you add on to it, I'm cool with that. Like Colossus. What would you do with Colossus going through a second mutation?
That mustache he has, because it's terrible.
Well, you know. I would say, if any... so what would you do with a second mutation with Colossus? Or Kitty Pryde?
Well, Kitty just goes through shit. If anything, I would give her...
The fact that she disrupts...
I would give her like she would somehow be able to throw an energy blast or something, like a fucking...
So that's the second mutation.
Not like a Kamehameha way, but something in a way smaller form. But what she does to tie it up to her power and like how she's able to fuck up like electronics. Say that second power has something to kind of do with that, or do you want the second power to be just something completely different?
I'm just testing you right now to see
I'm just
your level of creativity when it comes to you in the same position and predicament as these writers that we're beefing on right now. So, like for me, if I were to give Kitty Pryde another mutation, I'm not trying to add something off the cuff, brand the fuck new. I'm taking what's established and then working with it. So, for her ability is to spread her molecules far enough that she can go through things. I was like, well, for me, I would do the opposite. I'd make them just so tight and she become impervious where she, nothing can hurt her. I'd be like, now that I can fuck with. I can believe it. If it's the opposite of what it is. She can spread her shit so thin that she can walk through walls and walk on the air molecules and all that other shit. What's the opposite of that?
So she basically has visions power where she can change her density?
I'll change her density. And I'm cool with that.
I'm not cool with that.
But it's in the wheelhouse. And
no, but I get it.
Depending on how she worked it, she can work that shit. You know what I mean? And Colossus being made of osmium steel or whatever, it's like, okay, he had the organic, very impervious steel frame. He don't even need to eat, drink, breathe, anything like when he's in his form and shit. What would I do to make it where like he's going through a second mutation? I was like, I don't know. Well, maybe conduct type of heat or something, maybe depending on because
if he could Nova himself because he. Like, he can Nova bomb himself, but he wouldn't die because the metal is so strong.
You talking about blow up or something?
Like, you know how, like, when Johnny Storm just uses a Nova blast, he's like, Nova time, and he just fucking blows out all the heat that he's been holding in.
But then again, hold on, so let me think that.
Because now you get me thinking with Colossus.
So with Colossus, instead of that, I would say, you know what? If he's made of steel like that, or made of metal and shit, and he's solid, because before we didn't know if he was just covered in metal or what, but then they're like, no, he's solid all the way through. He's still organic and he's still able to move. I would say, vibrations. I would make it where he can clang his hands or and then send out like some like crazy
like
ass,
the Wonder Woman, like that thing.
But way
on a bigger scale.
Crazy ass vibrations and shit that fuck motherfuckers like a Hulk clap. You know what I mean? I would do some shit like that maybe, or like it's a second mutation or something. You know what I mean? I'm trying to add on too, not just change.
What I would like if he could do is it's kind of like the whole armor thing.
What's that?
I don't know why, but I'm just always crazy about armor. I just love armor.
No, she dope.
But it's what if Colossus could do something like that where he could just grab metals from around and somehow make
add on?
Yeah, like add on, but it doesn't stay permanent. It's just like, all right, this guy's whooping my ass right now, or Juggernaut's really fucking me up, and I'm like on a metal yard, like there's just metal everywhere. Somehow he can just like Iron Man it, but it makes him. Like
absorbing metal,
more like he's inside of a Gundam, kind of, or like a mech suit.
Because that's magnetics.
Well, yeah, because then Magneto.
That's if him being able to magnetically attract other pieces of metal to add to himself is one thing, and then it's like, well, what about?
But all that has to deal with metal. So this is the thing: is like, those are things that metal can actually kind of do, like with magnets and all that.
But that's a what do you call it? A change of state of what it is.
But it's
because you got to heat metal up in order to mold it and shit and do different things. It is what it is.
But that goes perfectly with what you were saying. Is imagine if he can expel heat. He is metal. Friction and metal, or friction and anything, will create warmth.
But that's also why I didn't officially, but I would say I tried to take that back and be like, no, I can do better. I would say vibrations, because metal clang would be dope, and sonics and shit dope.
What if I think this would be the best one. What if the motherfucker was just, his next power was he was just like the T-1000. He's metal, but he can turn into that little goop,
shape changing and shit.
Yeah, like what if fucking Colossus became a shapeshifter? Maybe only in his arms, maybe not his whole body,
right?
Or maybe something.
Because there was a character, Mercury, who's a mutant, ex-mutant. Yeah. She can do that shit. So she's made of liquid metal and can change it and shit too. So I'm like, Maybe.
Like a little.
Would that be the dopest thing to see? I'm like, I don't know.
Not really, but it would bring a little.
Like
thing,
I said, right? Like I said, it's just.
I wish there was a comic book or an issue or something
that explored this shit,
where writers can just have like a what if and just fuck with.
It's called what
if.
No,
yeah, but I'm talking about like a more kind of, I guess, obscure what if. Like, I don't know, like a fact of like
you're thinking of
like
a more specific what if, like what if the X-Men's powers went through second mutations, and here's the Marvel Universe style of explaining that.
But
shit.
they let us go crazy with it and not like tame. Like if all the ideas we're talking about, like say we dedicate 2 pages each to just give them those powers and to see what happens.
Like I said, it's a what if Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
So they'd be like, what if Colossus's power went through a second mutation? What if Xavier went through a second? What if? And it'd be like the Marvel Universes, like these joints right here.
Yeah.
And it's like, which breaks down in a source book pattern, format. Like, well, this is the history, the powers. This is all the stats. This is, the specifics of what these characters can do. But what if they went through a second mutation?
Yeah.
What would that be? What would the specifics be?
Like, do you think the X-Men would have transformed into something else if they went through that radiation that the Fantastic Four did? Do you think they would have had another power?
That would have been some shit right there.
That's a good what if, right? What if?
I ain't mad at that.
What if X-Men went to the Fantastic? Or how would you?
What if the
X-Men were?
What if the X-Men absorbed the
gamma rays?
No, they call gamma. What are they called?
Cosmic
rays.
Cosmic rays.
What if the
power cosmic?
What if the X? No, not power cosmic. It was that's a different thing.
Oh,
power cosmic is
what
Galactus gave Silver Surfer in order to understand the universe and perceive the universe.
Cosmic powers is just powers in space.
Cosmic, cosmic energy, cosmic rays was the Fantastic Four, which mutated their cells, which gave them their powers. So it's like saying, all right, what if the X-Men's powers got jumped by
immensely by that power?
Yeah.
Or even what if the X-Men were gamified? Like, what the fuck would happen?
But they did that. Did they? They did it in I got that.
But this is
because it was the leader, and intelligentsia. They was like, well, we're gonna take some gamma rays and we're gonna irradiate the X-Men, Spider-Man.
But with
Thor,
with gamma,
and they just made big versions of them.
It
was like we just big versions of them and shit. I'm like,
that's what I'm saying. Is like gamma would only, no matter what you do, would gamma only create a Hulk? Can it create anything else?
No.
It just creates a big
gamma
bulky,
is supposed to amplify. So, like, the leader, he didn't get, like, incredible super strength. He got stronger, but he got a big-ass brain.
Yeah.
And then it's like, Gamma Blood gave She-Hulk some gamma powers that made her strong. Doc Samson made him strong. For the most, it gives you strength. And they're saying, well, how are these people... Gamma's supposed to kill you, basically. The radiation is supposed to kill you. How are these motherfuckers surviving? And it's like, well, Bruce Banner being, what do you call it? There's what do you call it? Where the not the Inhumans, but the
Kree? Skrull?
Not the Kree. They're supposed to be
Morlocks?
No. The
Marauders?
Godly race of motherfuckers. The deviants and the deviants are the demon creature looking motherfuckers, and the opposite of them is the with God, I can't remember their name. They're about to do a movie with them. They have Cersei. They have Icarus. They have
Immortals.
Not Immortals. It's
Eternals.
Eternals. Thank you. So the Eternals are supposed to be like the descendants of the Kree, and the Celestials came and fuck with their genetics and shit. And they're like, well, in order because
they're humans, and then they die and they become the Eternals.
Well, it's like it's experimentation. So they're like, well, Bruce Banner is supposed to be a long descendant of them. That's why he's able to survive the gamma radiation and turn him into the Hulk. That's how they explain that shit. So I'm like, all right, cool, But all these other people getting hit with it, it's like, okay, what's up with them? Are all of these motherfuckers descended? Is this what gamma does? It's like, I understand it's a magic juice, it's a magic comic book juice, whatever, but. When after they define certain things, they have to make other things make more sense, make them make sense. I'm like, what's really good? That's why when I create characters, when I get creative, I'm like, I don't think of everything, but I definitely think of like the basic shit. Like I want to come up with a character called E-Man.
I've known a couple people named E-Man.
You know what I mean? It's like He-Man, but E-Man.
Yeah.
And I was like, what does that mean? I was like, epic. I was like, okay, he's epic. And I was like, well, what is it? I was like, why not make it where he can channel energy? And I'm like, what type of energy would, what is this? What is it? Is he strong? Is he super? Can he fly? Is he Superman? Is he He-Man? What is this? And I'm like, you know what? The collective willpower could be an energy source in the universe, and he has the ability to channel that shit. So he can channel the collective energy of willpower.
Basically,
and
the
make
Force.
himself epic.
It's kind of like the Force. Like the
Force,
like the energy of everything.
Sure. You know what I mean? But it's clearly out there. I know in the Green Lantern's universe, the
willpower.
Willpower.
It's the same thing with Dragon Ball Z. Whenever Goku has to do a spirit bomb, he asks the planet. He's like, "Everybody, give me your energy." So there's always a scene where people raise their hands, and even
energy is a real thing. It's a believable thing.
Yeah.
It's like collective energy, negative energy, positive energy.
Yeah.
That's some real ass shit. So for me, I'm sitting there like, okay, as much as I'm trying to fuck with shit and be creative and be different, but knowing everything's been done before, how can I take this and flip it? I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this character and make him represent this, and he can channel this because it's a believable thing, and go with that. Now, when it comes to like, well, can he fly with it? I don't know. Like, if he can channel the collective will force of energy of the universe, I'm like, well, if he wills himself to fly, can it be that way? I'm like, maybe it's a level of telekinetics, maybe it's a level of like, it isn't necessarily super strength, but it is a level of telekinetics because it's a will. My mind is willing this to move. It's willing this to move and doing this and that.
Yeah.
When I physically touch it, it's giving it even more force. And so it just seems so epic and super. Thus, he's epic, a.k.a. E-Man. I'm like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? So I'm like, this is how I create characters. This is how I think when I come up with shit or whatever, I just don't want to get on the cut and just be like, well, just because it's comics, I'm just going to make some shit. He can just do it, damn it. I'm like, that's lazy.
That whole because it's comics thing doesn't make sense because you can do that shit. The same thing with, because it's a movie. You can go as crazy as you fucking want. I've seen some bonkers out there movies. I've seen some bonkers out there shows. So.
But
comics, I think comics is the thing that people are like, that's why it's there because that's what it's for. Like, it's just comics. Like, no,
that's
bitch.
bullshit. Those motherfuckers don't stay around long.
Yeah. Well, on that note, we're done.
Is it?
We didn't. Yeah, we went a little over.
You were supposed to talk about.
Yeah, we didn't even get to the Fantastic Four run.
Yeah,
which was Hickman, but we'll talk about it next time.
Yeah,
I mean it's a lot that I read. It's 6 volumes each. Some of them were 200 pages. Some of them were 100. Some of them were more or less
epic.
Some of them fucked with my mind. Some of them I had to like just reread the sentences. Like, okay, gotta make sure I read it rightly.
Gotta double.
One of them made me tear up. One of them made me be like, well, 2 times I almost teared up.
That's good writing.
And then one of them was like, God damn, this is one of the best Fantastic Four books I've ever read. And I mean, I know I'm saying a lot because, like I said, I haven't read any of the older ones, but I don't know. It's like I said, it's Hickman.
As long as it means the most to you when you're reading it, that's what it's all about.
It's one of those books that, like, yes, it took me a while to read, but I would gladly reread it again because the art was great. The story does take a while to build up, but once it's there, it's on fucking full course, dude. Like, you're going down that train and you're stopping when motherfucking conductor tells you to stop. So, but like I said, we'll talk about that next time. So for I'm Comics Podcast, I've been Josh Casper.
The Bizarre Mumbo Jumbo, a.k.a. JJ Kirby. Holla at your boy.
You guys can find us on Facebook, Instagram. I was going to say podcast, but I'm like, we are the podcast.
Get your mind right.
Twitter. You can listen to us on, like I said, YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, fucking iHeartRadio. I mean, this is too many to fucking name.
No, it's out there. You can
iTunes.
Find us.
Yeah, you can Google Play Music.
Holla at your peoples. You can get at us.
You can find us very easily now. So don't fucking lag it.
Get it.
All right, guys, read on.
Holla.